League of Legends and Dota have been the GGEZ to the other's report bot for feeding for years, moving around each other in a ceaseless dance of nerds struggling to learn the team-building skills that IBS kept them from acquiring in team sports. See, while this cycle is often framed as an us versus them antagonistic standoff, like I did with the title of this video, League and Dota are somewhat symbiotic of one another. I mean, I think we're far enough along to have escaped the League copied Dota thing, but even addressing that, the fetid primordial pool of gamer goo that birthed Dota was Warcraft 3 custom games, which had plenty of other MOBAs before and during Dota's initial run. My favorite was Bleach vs. One Piece because yes, I did indeed struggle to talk to women. And very likely Valve picked up and produced Dota 2 because of the early commercial success that League of Legends had. But this history lesson old gamer rants about two games he's fucking terrible at isn't exactly the point of my channel, or this video really. So more to the point, in case you're not up on your latest Imagine Dragons news, League of Legends and Dota 2's one-upsmanship cycle has spilled out into your friend's dad's Netflix account that you still use, even though you stopped talking to that friend after the words Q and sheeple entered his vocabulary. Dota Dragon's Blood and Arcane are animated shows that take general stabs at giving lore to a couple of the characters you've seen call you the N-word in all chat. And while my last foray into Netflix-published animation was, "Oh look, he's doing a drug deal. Whoops, nope, it's just oregano. Christ, dude, what is this, a fucking college humor sketch?" Negative. These shows are both solid. But which is better, right? It's Arcane. But I don't know that that's a fair comparison. I mean, aside from the, oh, they're two very different shows, Arcane clearly has a much bigger budget. I mean, just look at the music. Their intro is Imagine Dragons, and they also got Denzel Curry and fucking Sting. And it's not like Riot's pulling a Kojima and just blowing a bunch of money so they can jack off a couple celebrities they like either. The animation here is strong. Like legitimately, I'm not often out here sucking CG off. My forays into certain subreddits show me Overwatch characters have that covered. I think modern CG will look as bad as Jimmy Neutron does in 10 years. But this is properly stylized. This should age well. Compare it to the bits of CG in Dota Dragon's Blood, and like the female co-president working for Blizzard, the wage gap becomes clear. But budgets notwithstanding, what stands out the most to me with Arcane vs. Dragon's Blood is the writing. And in part for a very particular reason. See, Dragon's Blood is written by Ashley Miller, who wrote both Thor and X-Men First Class, the only good X-Men movie. She has experience, and it shows. Dragon's Blood is fully competent, exploring themes of oppression, war, and godhood within a fantasy setting while maintaining a very grounded narrative. Dragon's Blood focuses down on just a few primary characters while expanding outward world building with every step they take and monster they fight. There's a lot of exposition in here, there has to be, but very rarely do you realize it's being delivered. Unfortunately, where Dragon's Blood starts to stumble is pacing. It seems to have been tasked to cover more ground in less time than Miller was comfortable with. And so sometimes it will handwave fight scenes or travel because they really need to get to the next plot point if they're going to make that season finale. See, Arcane isn't better because they walled 500 CG artists into a room with piles of money and didn't let them see their families for a year, or because Riot execs know where Sting and Imagine Dragons buried that hooker. It's because the characters, the pacing, the writing are top fucking shelf. Every character's actions and motivations are fully communicated through natural, charismatic dialogue. Characters weave through arcs and emotional moments without ever interrupting the plot. The lore is expertly communicated to newcomers while still having moments that guy who read all the comics can make a 10 things you missed in Arcane YouTube video about. It's expertly done, and I don't know why. See, I brought up Ashley Miller's past works because the people who wrote Arcane don't fucking have any. Okay, that's not entirely true. 3 of the episodes were written by one of the writers for Toy Story 2, Ash Brannon, but Ashley Miller wrote all 9 episodes of Dragon's Blood and is credited as the creator, which means she is the driving force in its narrative. However, when you have a series like Arcane whose episodes are credited with different writers, usually you have a writer's room that assigns different episodes to different people, all who proof and help each other out when they have problems during their writer's room meetings. And those disparate scripts are made cohesive by the creator or creators who govern the overall vision. And the creators for Arcane have no screenplay experience at all, and are instead the lexicons of League's extended lore. You know, they wrote all those comics and things that nobody ever consumed. And in general, adapting comics and games to the screen has not been easy. So, that a relatively inexperienced team of writers and directors could manage something this professional is astounding, frankly. Granted, Arcane isn't better because these writers passed that particular hurdle. It's just all the more strange that it is as good as it is, given how little experience they seem to have. Now, I want to be clear, both shows are good. I was legitimately surprised by how much I liked Dragon's Blood. And all you have to do is look at the news to see how highly regarded Arcane is. But I guess if we're going to stick to the title of this video, League of Legends wins Game 1. Now, if only either of them could figure out how to make a game that didn't make me want to kill myself.